Hey, in this video, we're going to be talking about the 12 ways to destroy your recruiting or how not to be recruited. And of course, the reason I'm doing this is to help you with recruiting and how to be recruited. So stay with me here. The mental model or mental framework that I'm using is called inversion thinking. You're basically reverse engineering a problem that you're trying to solve and working backwards or doing the opposite in this example. So instead of asking the question of how would I be recruited, you're asking how would I destroy my recruiting, and list out those things and do the reverse, do the opposite. Another way to think about it is that's not recruiting related is how would I not get in shape, right? And then you list out all the things of how you would not get in shape and do the opposite. Another example is how would I have a bad relationship? Whether that's, with somebody that you love or a friend or just any relationship in general, how would I have a bad relationship? How would I destroy a relationship? List all those things and do the opposite. Do the reverse, okay? Our brains, the funny thing is, our brains can really pick out problems a lot easier than answers, right? So it's going to be very easy or easier for us to find the problems or find the difficulties of how to not do something than to do something. But the thing is, we just do the reverse of the problems, right? So we're going to dive into that recruiting. If you're new to my channel or don't know who I am, my name is Alex Swinson. I'm a former Division I college coach, recruiter, and scout, and now I help high school athletes and their parents go through this recruiting process, help them find the best college fit. I put out a weekly video, so like and subscribe. It's right down here, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Again, I put out a weekly video, so let's dive into this. Number one is you get a no or you get ignored from a school or schools and you quit. All right, don't quit. Do the opposite. Do the reverse. Get used to the no's. Get used to being ignored. That's part of this recruiting process. So don't quit. Don't lose motivation. Don't lose discipline. The second one is you don't even start this recruiting process. You have a mindset of like, hey, I'm just going to sit back and I will be found, or somebody will find me from that standpoint. You don't actually start the recruiting process. You are not proactive in this recruiting process. You do the opposite, right? You are proactive in this recruiting process and you do the correct steps that you need to. That's part of this video that we are diving into here. The next one is not having a wide range of schools. You should think broadly, okay? If you have too narrow of a list, okay, you are not helping yourself. You need a wide range of schools so you can have a lot of targets to go after, reach schools, target schools, safe schools. But if you only have 3 to 5 to even 8 schools, that's not helping your chances. There's so many colleges out there. There's over 1,500 colleges out there that could be recruiting you, okay? But if you only have a select few, you're not getting the full scope of all the schools. The next one is not maximizing your exposure through video. You should be having and creating a personal recruiting video. This is super, super helpful. So if you're not maximizing technology and you're not maximizing your personal recruiting video, you're definitely falling behind. So do the opposite. Maximize your recruiting video. The next one is being resistant to reaching out to schools and following up. This is very, very key. So if you get ignored or you don't hear anything back, don't take that as a no quite yet. Now, if you send like 10 emails and you don't get anything back, all right, you need to move on, okay? I would actually move on from around 5 or so, okay? But you want to be reaching out. So if you're not reaching out at all right, or you're resistant to reaching out, this is how not to be recruited. You need to be proactive in this process and be reaching out to these college coaches. The next one is comparing yourself to other athletes and complaining. I get it. There's a lot going on. You might hear of kids and parents and coaches saying, hey, I've committed, or he's committed here, going here. There's a lot of noise, okay, or on Twitter, on social media. Hey, you just need to focus on you and don't compare yourself to other athletes. Compare yourself to you and your recruiting process, your recruiting timeline, and don't complain. All right, don't complain about anything, all right, because that's only holding you back. What does complaining do? Complaining doesn't do anything to help you. The next one is being lazy on the field and not hustling. This is how not to be recruited. Pretty simple right here, but if you are lazy in high school or in summer ball and coaches see that, it's a big write-off. It's a big X. The next one, not taking school seriously, not doing well in school. This is a surefire way to not be recruited. I can't tell you how many times when I was recruiting coordinator and I liked really a player, but their grades weren't there and they couldn't even get into school. Just literally had to wipe them off my desk into the trash as far as their transcript. If you're not taking school seriously, and think about it, right? It's a big red flag when you're not doing well in school, right? You can meet certain standards, and I get it. There's some certain circumstances that you might be a reason why you're not doing good in school, but you should be able to get by and figure it out in certain circumstances. And because if you're not taking that seriously, well, then are you going to take sports seriously? Are you going to take the team seriously? Are you going to take winning seriously? So that's super important. The next one, making bad decisions off the field. This could really, really hurt you in high school or wherever, and it's off the field. So making bad decisions, being tempted to do negative things. And it's not easy being a teenager. It's not easy saying no as a teenager. But you need to think ahead, right? Think ahead, have good situational awareness, surround yourself with good people, and make sure you're avoiding putting yourself in circumstances that could hurt you. The next one, not being consistent in the weight room. You need to be consistent in the weight room and continue to get strong in the weight room. You don't have to be huge, right? But you need to be consistent because physicality is one thing that these college coaches look at. It's the first thing that they see, your body and your body type. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your nutrition? Okay, that's another one. Being consistent with your nutrition plan. That is super, super helpful. The next one, and we only have two more. And this one's super, super important. All of these are important. But not focusing on skill development. Skill development is such a foundation to the recruiting process. If you're not focused on that, it's going to really, really hurt you in the recruiting process. You have to have a certain skill set to play at the next level. Now, depending on that skill and that level is going to be determined on your skill set and your projectability. So, how not to be recruited is not to be focused on skill development. And here we go, the last one, but certainly not least, is having a bad relationship with your team and or your coaches. You want to make sure that you're developing relationships with your teams. You're a leader, you're coachable, and you're not a cancer on the team. I get it. You're not going to like all the guys on your team. That's totally okay. That's pretty normal. You know, you're not going to be buddy to buddy with everybody. You should be with most, but there's probably going to be one or two that you might just not be. But you're going to have to learn how to overcome that, and especially with coaches, you're going to have to learn how to have a relationship with a coach that you might not like. Okay, because there's a lot that goes into the recruiting process, and these college coaches talk to the coaches, and you want to have and develop a relationship with these coaches. All right, team, that is the 12 ways of how not to be recruited. And just do the opposite. You do the opposite, you're going to be in a great position to be recruited. Hey, if you got anything from this video, please smash that like button and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.